A sea of green, olive trees, date palms, cypress and pine. Millions of trees, most planted by humans, adorn the landscapes of Israel. But it wasn't always like that. Since 1901, the Jewish National Fund, Keren Kayemet LeIsrael, planted over 250 million trees throughout the country. It's part of a historic forestation project which has ensured that Israel entered the 21st century with more trees than it had 100 years ago, the only country in the world to do so, according to the organization. The ongoing forestation is made in coordination with the Israeli government, which dictates where and how much to plant. And once a year, children, students, families, and volunteers celebrate Tu B'Shvat, the Jewish holiday of trees and plants, by planting their very own tree. According to the JNF, the program has two main goals. The first is environmental.
Well, as we all know, trees and greenery is great for the environment. They produce oxygen. They're good to cool the climate around here. And in Israel, they have another importance because they're rolling back the desert.
The environmental effect of even one tree is significant. It absorbs dust, creates oxygen, helps eliminate toxic metals, and purifies polluted air. And when planted in the right places, trees can have an important social impact as well.
It's good for the climate. It's good for the greenery of Israel. Most of the Israelis live, as you know, in condominiums and not in private houses. These areas, these trees and forests, they become the large parks that most of the Israelis go out to and picnic and, and barbecue and whatever. These are the areas for the Israelis.
Historically, when people wanted to plant a tree in Israel, they would send money in this little blue box. And nowadays, there are two ways you can do it. You can send money online and a tree will be planted in your name, your honor, your memory, or you can do what I'm doing today, which is come here and get your hands dirty yourself. I'm taking a little baby oak and I walk over here. There are already places that are designated. They've prepared it for you. You take the baby tree and make sure that the soil is ready for it. And this little baby tree is going to look like that huge one over there in about 20 years. Now just make sure it sits well, give it some water, and this is just one of the ways that you can help make Israel greener.
The second goal is ideological and not entirely uncontroversial.
During the times of the British Mandate, we had to prove our ownership of the land. We had to cultivate the land. The best way to cultivate the land was to plant trees around Israel. That's how it all started.
Today, the organization says it's about strengthening the connection between the Jewish people and Israel. And in a region where almost every piece of land carries historical, religious, and political value, something as simple as planting a tree can be controversial. With criticism surfacing every few years that the tree planting program is a Judaization of contested land. Last year, in the Negev desert, clashes broke out when Bedouins protested that the trees were disrupting their farming and livelihoods. The practice was temporarily stopped in the area. Other issues like overplanting and wildfires also surface every year. But the goal to greenify Israel continues undeterred. Many of the trees planted are already 50, 60, 100 years old and stand strong across the country.